Hey guys, it's Tyler from Nelly Security. Check this out.
System disarmed. Ready to arm.
Yep, that's right. I just disarmed this alarm with my mug. That's all thanks to this powerful new alarm panel from 2GIG, the Edge. Now I can already hear the critics saying, uh-oh Tyler, now you've done it. As soon as the alarm panel sends that image to the alarm.com cloud, the Russians are going to intercept your data and steal your face. Well, to this I have two things to say. First, Russia already has my face. And second, that's not how this 2GIG Edge panel works. Here in just a few minutes, I'm going to explain how the 2GIG Edge alarm panel keeps your data safe and secure and stored directly right here on the panel. But first, we're going to take a look at some of the features and benefits of this new alarm panel. We're going to take a tour of the interface, and at the very end, we are going to talk about whether or not you should upgrade to the 2GIG Edge from older 2GIG models. So are you ready to jump into this review? Let's go. Just a couple of years ago, 2GIG updated their GC2 and GC3 GoControl panels to the GC2E and the GC3E. Now here I have a GC2E. Check out that premium branding there. When the eSeries panels first came out, there were a few minor updates from the older GC2 and GC3 models, but the main update was security. The GC2E and the GC3E support 2GIG eSeries sensors, which are encrypted. So this was a very important update from 2GIG in order to update those older models and make them a lot more secure. But aside from encryption support, there wasn't really a whole lot of change with the GC2E and the GC3E. I mean, sure, it looked sleeker. There were a few quality of life updates. The screen was brighter, the audio was crisper. But at the end of the day, the GC2E and the GC3E left a lot of 2GIG installers wanting for something a little bit more. Well, today I bring you more. A lot more. Introducing the Edge. Man, talk about an update that was a day late and $1 short, but no, not that Edge. The 2GIG Edge panel does maintain most of the updates from the old eSeries update. It supports the eSeries encrypted sensors. It also is backwards compatible with older 2GIG non-encrypted sensors, but just about everything else on this panel is brand new. This is the update many of us have been waiting for a couple of years now. Moving from the GoControl panels to the Edge panel, 2GIG decided to completely throw out the old designs and go for something new, which is why we have this black edge-to-edge glass finish. Get it? Edge to edge? Yeah, that's actually why they called this the Edge panel. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get to the name and why it's called the Edge here in a little bit. We also have this stylish bevel down here. You'll notice that even with this bevel, we can still brand the panel with your full color logo. The screen is larger, it's prettier, the profile is 50% thinner. Just look at this, it's beautiful. But unlike me, this panel does have more going for it than just its good looks. Namely, a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core processor. This is a processor chip with 4 cores. Now, ideally, a 4-core processor is able to do more work and get more work done faster than a single-core processor. And yeah, from my experience, this panel does feel a lot faster and more responsive. But where this quad-core processor really shines is in this panel's all-new abilities. First, that processor amplifies pretty much everything about this panel. It allows the screen to be much brighter and crisper. It allows for much louder audio. Check out the front here. We have not 1, not 3, but 2 front-firing speakers. That's twice as many speakers as the original GoControl panels. It also has twice as many microphones. Yep, you didn't even know that you needed 2 microphones, but you do. It makes your voice sound so much cleaner and it gets rid of all the echo in the room. So when you're answering your doorbell, when you're talking to someone on a remote panel, everything just sounds really good. Those 2 microphones they take the edge off your voice. And yeah, that's why they call it the Edge panel. Okay, that one was bad, I'm sorry. Another cool thing about these 2 microphones is they also act as a glass break sensor built directly into this panel. Enjoy security camera live view, both from your alarm.com cameras and your OnVIF cameras, which can really be a game changer for you video surveillance installers out there. Anything that is compatible with the OnVIF Profile S, you can add here to your alarm panel. Here is a live view of our dumpsters, just right outside this door here. Sorry, I'm just trying to come up with another Edge pun. Another cool feature of the Edge panel is Bluetooth touchless disarming. This is something that was not available on the GC2 or the GC3, so it's really nice to see that here on the Edge. When you create a new user, you can add their cell phones in there via Bluetooth, and anytime someone comes home with their cell phone on their person, when they get within the Bluetooth range of the Edge panel, their system will automatically disarm, so you can walk right into your home. You don't have to punch in your code or anything. Everything is just totally based on your location. I love that feature. It really helps this panel to integrate more seamlessly into your lives and into the tech that you already own. And it's definitely good to see that on a 2 gig alarm panel. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the facial recognition feature of this panel, because I know that's something we've all been waiting to talk about. But first, I want to manage your expectations. Ah, dang it, I missed a perfect one. Okay, cut. Let's try that one more time. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to this facial recognition feature, because I know we've all been at the edge of our seats waiting to talk about this. Okay, but first I want to manage your expectations, because if you're like me, you're lazy. And when you hear facial recognition, you think of something like an iPhone, which, if you can see here, my phone is locked. I take one look at it and boom, my phone's unlocked. I can instantly open it and start interacting. I don't want you coming to the 2 gig Edge panel thinking that the facial recognition works like that. The facial recognition features of this camera is not about speed or convenience. It's all about accuracy and, first and foremost, security. Crazy, right? I know. Picture this scenario. You have Bluetooth touchless disarming activated, and before you can come home, someone steals your phone. And they know where you live. Now they're able to just walk into your house and disarm your alarm simply because they have your phone on their person. Same thing could happen with a 4-digit or even a 6-digit user code. Maybe you used your birthday or your anniversary or something easy to guess. The point is, it is possible for someone to disarm your alarm using your cell phone or using your user code, even if it is highly unlikely. However, it's going to be a whole lot harder for someone to turn their face into your face. Biometrics is a much more secure way of arming your home. And until now, this kind of technology hasn't really been available in home security systems like this, but thanks to 2 gig's cutting edge technology, it is now available to the masses. Man, cutting edge, I didn't even intend that one. So at the beginning of this video, I told you that 2 gig's facial recognition technology was completely safe and that your data was nice and secure right here in the panel. Let's talk a little bit more about how that works. Speaking of which, have I told you how this panel got its name? Edge Artificial Intelligence. No, that's not a pun. That's really how this panel got its name, or at least how I assume the panel got its name. Edge Artificial Intelligence is a type of artificial intelligence where all the analytics are done on site within the device that is actually using the analytics. So there are a lot of Internet of Things devices that use artificial intelligence, but aren't actually powerful enough to do all the computing right there on site. Hey Google, what's my name?
I can't reach the internet right now. Check your modem or router connection and try again.
Anyway, she can usually tell me what my name is because she recognizes my voice. But it's not actually Google recognizing my voice, it's Google sending my voice off to a server, doing voice recognition analytics, coming back and telling Google who I am based on my user profile, etc. But the thing is, anytime I do that, my voice gets saved on Google's servers where they can listen to it and use my voice to help them make their products better. I know this is the case because they asked me permission to do that, and I told them yes because I want someone to get paid to sit there and listen to my 3-year-old talk to Google all day.
Google, play Itsy Bitsy Polka Dot Pumpkini.
I guess it's not really that big of a deal with my smart speaker because I ask it what the weather is and that kind of thing. But when it comes to the device that is arming my home, I want that to be quite a bit safer. And if you do too, then you're in luck because again, the 2 gig Edge uses Edge Analytics to store your face directly in the panel. It doesn't send any personal data through the cloud, it can't be intercepted, it can't be stolen. If I delete my user profile off of that Google speaker, I won't be able to interact with the speaker in the same way that I can right now, but my voice will forever be stored on Google's server. With the 2 gig edge, once you delete your user profile, it's deleted. Your face is gone. There's no extra bits of data floating around that could be traced back to you. It's secure, it's safe, so you don't have to worry about anything happening to your data. So let's go ahead and register my face on here, and I will show you how this works. All right, so here we are on our user interface, and we're gonna get that facial recognition set up here in just a minute, but I wanna show you a quick tour of what we have here. It's a really simple screen. It's nice and clean and minimalist. We've got just 3 main buttons here for arming stay, arming away, or our smart home features. And it works just like you'd expect it to. If I click arm stay,
Arming stay.
and it says arm stay. If you notice that little camera icon, that means a picture was being taken of my face, because in addition to facial recognition, this panel also takes pictures anytime the alarm is tampered with or disarmed, armed, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and disarm this with our default 1111. And you can see that red camera icon there tells us that my picture was taken yet again. And then if you click this smart home button, that's gonna take you to pretty much every other function of this alarm panel. Here we have all of our Z-Wave lights, our locks, thermostats, garage doors. We have our security cameras and our doorbells. Keep in mind that for security cameras, that can be anything alarm.com, or it can be anything OnVIF compatible. For your doorbells, that's only gonna be alarm.com doorbells. With the OnVIF cameras, it is only going to be that profile S, so it's only going to carry the video, in some cases maybe the audio, but definitely not enough features for it to be a fully functional doorbell. If I click on cameras, I do actually have our doorbell camera added here. We can scroll down. So we can see the feeds from our other doorbells. This is not an alarm.com doorbell. This is our NSC DB1, or excuse me, our NSC DB2. And with the security cameras, you can zoom in and pan around, which is really nice. It is very snappy and responsive. Let's go back, because right now I just want to set up our facial recognition. To do that, I'm going to have to register myself as a user. So I'm going to click on this little gear icon down here and input our installer code, which by default is 1561. And here you can see all of the menu options that you have available. You can change the screen brightness. You can change the screen timeout time. When it goes dark, you can add a screensaver. You can add like billboards and that kind of thing on the screensaver. We can adjust the volume of all the different sounds. As you can see, it can get very loud. Those 2 front firing speakers work amazingly. Here we can edit our network, our smart home settings. We can adjust when our onboard camera takes pictures. For instance, maybe you only want pictures when it's disarmed. We can turn off arming. We can turn this feature off completely if we don't want it. We can add sensor chimes in here. We can open up our installer toolbox, and this is where we're going to be able to program our sensors and that kind of thing. The whole process, if you're used to the 2 gig GC3 or the GC3E, it's pretty much the same process. You go through the same menus when you are adding, say, wireless zones. It's the same codes, the same menu. It's exactly what you're used to. Nothing has changed here. So let's go back. Let's head to settings, 1561, and go into users. Now here we have our master user, which by default is 1111. I would highly recommend changing that, obviously. We're not going to change it right now. We're just going to add a new user named Tyler. And hit next. Now we're going to give this user an access code. I'm just going to choose 0000. Apparently I can't choose 0000, so I will choose 2222. And I'm going to confirm 2222. And now it says the system can recognize known faces to perform actions like arming the system, disarming the system, running home automation actions, that kind of thing. So it's going to be about a 2-minute process. It says to register my face. It's not going to take 2 minutes. Watch this. I'm going to hit next. It's going to make me read this thing, read every single word, make sure you agree. And now it's going to register my face. Let me make sure you can see this. All right, let's get started. Begin. position your face within the frame, you can see that there is this gray outline of a face, and as long as my face is right in the center there, it's going to turn green. And there we go. Now it's telling me to turn my head slightly to the right, and I want that line to stay green the whole time. Now turn my face slightly to the left. This is hard to do with the camera right next to me. And boom, there we go. Your security system will now recognize your profile to perform tasks like arming and disarming the system. It wants you to watch a tutorial. You can totally do that, figure out how to do this. We're not going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and, we don't want to exit. We want to skip the tutorial. And now let's take a photo to use as your avatar image. There we go, perfect. Use that image. Face recognition for arming and disarming. Now it says we can add a Bluetooth device associated with this user. This is where we can add my phone in there so that I can do touchless disarming. When I come home and I get within the Bluetooth range of my panel, it will automatically disarm. I'm gonna skip this for now. Bluetooth disarming is not configured, that's okay. Let's hit done. If you are interested in Bluetooth disarming, it's as simple as opening up your phone, following the on-screen prompts to get your phone set up, and everything is good to go. So now we have me as a user in there. Let's head home, and I'm going to arm this.
Arming state.
So here we are, the system is now arming. In about a minute from now, it'll be fully armed, but I'm gonna stop it by disarming this system with my face. Let me make sure you guys can see, I'm not in your way. Disarm, it's gonna tell you to turn your head slightly to the left and the right.
System disarmed. Ready to arm.
And there we go, just like that, the system was disarmed using my face. You can see it wasn't instant, it does take a few seconds to register. It's also not touchless, you do have to actually physically touch disarm, so it's not like you can just walk in your home, look at your panel, and go about your day. But again, this is not about speed or convenience, this is about safety and security. And if you want something fast, if you want something instant and touchless, you do have that Bluetooth disarming option available to you as well. So that's pretty much it. The other things we have here are purely aesthetic. We have the weather up here with alarm.com. You can see that the high is gonna be 67 degrees. That's crazy, even though it's here in the middle of May in Oklahoma. I'll take it. We can click it, get our full forecast. We have the date up here. We have our panic buttons down here in the right-hand corner. Up here along the top, we have our status icons, and we can perform a couple of functions up there as well. So this exclamation point is our alerts. If something goes wrong with the panel, if it needs to notify us of something, that's gonna start beeping at us and it'll change colors and start flashing. So we'll always know pretty easily if there is an alert to check out. This little moon icon, we can touch it and instantly send the display to sleep. We have our volume icon. If we punch this, it's gonna mute the entire panel. So we can click around and we're not gonna hear that annoying beep sound. So I almost always have this on silent when I'm doing the testing. This is telling us that the unit is plugged in. If I were to unplug this,
Arming away. Exit now.
arming away. Once I unplug this system, you can see up here that is now blinking, letting us know it's using up the battery. And if we tap this 2 gig logo, it's gonna give us a simple menu that shows us the system info to tell us what panel we're looking at. It's gonna give your customers the dealer info so they will always know who to contact. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Edge panel. Now let's talk about whether or not you should upgrade to the Edge from older 2 gig models. I really do think that there is a lot of potential here, and if you or your customers are looking for the latest and greatest technology with all the bells and whistles, then you should definitely give the Edge a close consideration. It can do everything the 2 gig GC2E and 3E can do, plus a whole lot more. So for your customers that do always want the best technology available, this is an excellent upgrade. If you have customers that are still on the older GC2 and GC3 models, the panels that don't support encrypted sensors, then definitely swap out their panel. The Edge panel is a great update for them because it's gonna get them that new Z-Wave technology, it's gonna get them the encrypted sensors, and it's just gonna get them a ton of new features that they haven't been able to experience with their 2 or 3 panels. Now, if you have customers that have the GC2E or the GC3E, they have encrypted sensors and they're happy with their panel, then there isn't really any need for them to go ahead and upgrade to the Edge unless they just want to. There is a lot of cool features with the Edge, but there is no core functionality of the Edge that I would really consider a necessity. So if your customers are happy with the 2E or the 3E, then there really isn't any need for them to upgrade. At the end of the day, it all comes down to preference. There have been a lot of changes in the alarm panel industry just in the last few years, even since the eSeries panel came out. And for a while, 2GIG was kind of behind its competitors. But the Edge is 2GIG's excellent response to these changes because they saw the bet, they took the bet, and they upped the ante. What I mean by that is they incorporated all the modern changes into this panel. It's sleeker, it's thinner, it looks a lot more modern, it has Bluetooth touchless disarm, you can view your security cameras, it has the glass break sensor, it has the more tablet-like functionality, it's faster, it's cooler, but they didn't stop there. After they got their technology up to date, they pushed the alarm industry just a little bit further with some of these groundbreaking features like edge analytics, facial recognition, and that quad-core processor. So this is an excellent alarm panel. It's going to make a great addition in your product line. It's going to present you with plenty of opportunities for upsells, for getting new customers. Most importantly, it's just gonna keep your business on the leading edge of the industry. Okay, I promise that was the last one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you to learn more about the 2GIG Edge panel and helped you decide if this panel was right for you. As always, if you have any questions about this product, check out the description below. We have a blog post, we have product pages, we have guides. If after all of that you still have questions, give us a call, send us an email, chat with us on our website. We are always happy to help you out. Until next time, keep living on the edge. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.